We talk a lot about sex education on this channel, and I always say that the most important thing when it comes to having a healthy and a happy sexual relationship is communication. Being able to talk to your partners about sex is so unbelievably important, and yet so many of us still struggle to do it, myself included. So today, I thought I would call up a few of my ex-boyfriends and have a little conversation about sex and see where I did or didn't go wrong. Okay, it's calling. I'm so nervous about this. So obviously all of my exes already know that I'm going to be calling them. They know that this is for a video, and I'm also going to be changing everybody's names just for privacy reasons.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very, very good. So I wanted to ask you a few questions today. The first one is, when we were dating, you were, I think, the first sexual partner I had after coming out of a 6-year-long relationship. You knew this at the time, so how did that make you feel?
I was going to say it's like starting a new job, but so used to how somebody works, you don't have to tell them anything, and then all of a sudden you've got somebody that doesn't know what you do, doesn't know what you like, or it is. I could imagine it was weird for you too.
Yeah, it was really weird. And there's a particular incident in particular I want to talk to you about, and this is going to be more embarrassing for me than it is for you, okay? There was a time, and actually I think it might have been a couple of times, where I struggled to get an erection. Do you remember this?
I do remember.
And there was actually a reason for that I never ever told you, because I was really embarrassed and afraid to tell you. So basically, and I'm so sorry, Jake, a friend of mine had received oral sex from another boy with braces, and his foreskin had got caught in that boy's braces, and it tore his foreskin open. And he told me this story, and I was so unbelievably scared, so that when we came to have oral sex, because you had braces at the time, I was terrified. I was so terrified that I couldn't keep it up.
Right.
And
explains a lot.
And I wish I had told you that at the time, because I feel like by me not telling you the reason, you know, that probably made you feel insecure. Was it something you were doing? Did I have a medical problem? And I don't know why I didn't tell you at the time, and I don't know why it's taken me 6 years to tell you that story.
Well, that's a massive thing, isn't it? Because I remember at the time thinking, well, this has never happened before. It did make me question, definitely, was I doing something wrong? You were probably just visualising a blender in my mouth. So
I kind of was. Like, I was very attracted to you, Jake. I was so attracted to you, and I wanted it so much. But yeah, that was a hindrance for me at the time.
Yeah, I can see. That would put me off, to be honest, if I'd been told a story like that. I see where you're coming from.
Okay, thank you so much for doing this, and have a lovely day, and I'll speak to you very, very soon.
Okay, and you. Bye.
Okay, bye. So the next boy I'm going to call is from about 3 or 4 years ago, and I was actually madly in love with this boy. I've only ever loved 2 people in my life, and this guy was one of them. So I feel like this is going to bring back a lot of memories.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm alright, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. There's a couple of things I want to talk to you about today. This is very personal. I know you said you're happy to talk about this, but if you are uncomfortable at any time, please do say. Is that you actually had a medical issue, which was that you had a problem with your foreskin being too tight, and that caused you a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I really, really wanted to talk to you about that, because I never knew, because I know I touched you sometimes and you would wince in pain, but I feel like I was always afraid to ask you about that, because I didn't want to upset you, I didn't want to hurt your feelings, I didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable. How do you think I could have done better about approaching that issue?
I genuinely don't think you could have done better, because all people should ask of someone is for them to be considerate of how someone would feel. When you have a medical issue to do with sex, you do feel like a bit of embarrassment. You're self-conscious at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you are regularly viewing these people online, like in porn, and they have like perfect bodies and like no medical issues. You do have that fear, like going to the doctor to sort out your dick is something that you don't want to be able to do.
Yeah, and it did take you a long. You've been circumcised now, haven't you? But that took you a long time to get to that stage, right?
It did, yeah. I finally got in contact about it, and they were like, okay, so you're getting it up in 5 days.
Yeah.
So I didn't even have like time to like give my foreskin a funeral. I didn't get to keep it. You're in Meet the Fockers where they have like the foreskin and they put it into the song by accident.
Yeah.
Where was my moment?
obviously when we were dating, I was madly in love with you, and it was an unrequited love situation. And I think I sometimes used sex as a way to get close to you because I just wanted to be close to you, which obviously isn't a good thing to do, but that's kind of how you behave sometimes. So how do you think I could have handled that situation better?
I think that you should have looked out for yourself more than me. At the end of the day, we will all fall in love with someone that doesn't love us back. It's like inevitable. I've done it before, you've done it, and at the end of the day, you should just protect yourself.
Yeah, I think that's really, really good advice. And I think that's a really positive note to end on as well about, you know, taking care of yourself. And even if you are madly in love with someone, you shouldn't be putting their feelings above your own. Okay, well, thank you so much for your call. You are amazing. And I'll speak to you sometime soon as well, okay?
Yes, of course.
Okay, see you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I think it was really, really interesting talking to Jack because when I was dating him, I was still kind of coming to terms with my sexuality and figuring out what I did and didn't like. So I think it's going to be super interesting to speak to the final boyfriend, who is my most recent boyfriend, to see how much things have changed since then.
Hello.
Hello, pretty. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. I've already spoken to two of my exes who were kind of like one from 6 years ago and one from about 3 years ago. And I started dating you when I was kind of more comfortable with what I enjoyed and what I liked sexually. And so I kind of want to ask you, like, how did you think I was at communicating, like, what I wanted?
It was more implied as in you asked me questions as to what I preferred, as opposed to saying this is what I would like to do, this is how I like to do it. By the questions you were asking, I could sort of figure out what it is you were trying to imply.
Yeah, no, it does, absolutely. And I think that's something I do quite often, is that I'm not very good at saying what I like, so I'll kind of like ask the other person, hey, do you like this? And that's kind of my way of saying that I really, really like this thing.
Do you never outright say it though?
I think I think even though, like, I guess the whole point of the video I'm making right now is to kind of emphasize the importance of communication. And I think sometimes it's surprisingly difficult to just come out and say, I like this thing. Do you like this thing? Can we do this thing together? Can we experiment with this? And also, I think the fact that, again, that I don't enjoy penetrative sex, I sometimes felt like that we never really had that conversation outright.
To be honest, the most information that I got was from your friends at the party the first time.
That's
interesting. I can't remember who told me. They explicitly said, like, one of the first things that they told me about you, which I found quite surprising. That's the thing that someone would lead with. That
is really surprising, and I had no idea that was a thing. But that's kind of crazy, actually, that, you know, I would feel comfortable enough telling my friends, and my friends would feel comfortable enough telling a complete stranger, but I was dating you, and I didn't feel comfortable enough being like, by the way, I don't like anal sex. Is that okay with you? Like, is there a compromise we can come to?
Why do you think asking is such a difficult thing for people?
I don't know, because I could sit here on YouTube and I could talk about sex, and I could call up my friends. I could probably even call up my mum and talk about sex. But for some reason, when I'm face to face with a guy, and I think a lot of people feel this way, you kind of freeze up. I think it's usually because you want to, when we were dating, I wanted to impress you, and I didn't want to say anything that I thought might change your opinion of me. So, and I think that's a big part of it. Well, it's been so lovely speaking to you, and I'm sure I'll call you again or something just so we can catch up. Okay, see you later, pretty.
Good luck. Bye-bye.
Bye. I really, really enjoyed that conversation because I think it really, really did emphasize the importance of communicating and being able to say something. Like, if you do like something, you should feel like you can open up to your partner about that. And you know, if somebody says to you that they're into something, absolutely you should never, ever be judgmental, because it is a really, really difficult thing to open up about. It was really, really nice speaking to my exes today as well. Like, I've always been somebody of the opinion that we should be able to be friends with our exes. And I think each one of these boys has brought so much to my life, both romantically, but also sexually. I've learned a lot from each of them, and kind of speaking to them today has kind of cemented that thought and how much I've taken away from dating each one of these boys. So thank you so much to my 3 exes who were kind enough to speak to me on the phone today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it fun, but I also hope you found it educational. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. Do leave a comment down below. Do subscribe if you are new to this channel, and I'll see you guys very soon. See ya!